we
You
are,
on?
I think we are live.
Hold up.
Welcome, everyone. We're just gonna share this on our platform so as
Oh, yeah, there we
many as
go.
possible can join us.
Perfect. Tech Ninja bit done.
Yes.
Morning, everyone.
Morning. This is Tim Wild and Mia Kafkios. And we're always excited to come here live. It's something special energetically to be live and feel you guys. And we're excited to come here because, as always, I mean, how much can happen in one day, right?
The planet can change in one day very easily.
Yeah, and it shifts so fast. I mean, our consciousness are really just upgrading all the time as the electromagnetic field of Mother Earth.
Hmm.
So it's almost like awakening every morning and like, okay, so how is the field today? What dimension will I reach today? And really somehow honoring that change and not trying to run
Hmm.
in the old energies can be difficult.
It can be difficult, and that's one of that's, for those of you that are listening, tuning in either now or later, that's everybody's favorite test, isn't it? Basically maintaining your light and your frequency and anchoring and your grounding at the highest place when we've got all of these magnificent distractions to kind of knock us off our little pedestals and kind of draw us back into the old kind of 3D survival based way of thinking. And there's lots of furtive activity at the moment to kind of bring more stuff through to get
Mm,
us to alter our perception of what reality is going to be providing for us. So yeah,
mm.
happy September. We this is, can you believe it, Mia, that this is the 9th month of this year? How
No.
fast it has gone. And I'm going to put this year down. It's going down on my list of like top years for experiences within the ascension process of just being an absolute howler from start to finish. And you can guarantee that the September, October, November, December, before we hit the December solstice, is going to provide us with yet more eye-opening experiences, even just if it is just the passage of time, how fast it moves or how slowly it moves, depending on what our focus of attention is, and the groundbreaking frequencies that we are anchoring and embodying in our working process.
Mm. Yeah, it's interesting because it's always almost like three periods always each year. You enter the year and you're like, yes, I'm so excited. I've done my work. I put my intentions. And then the energy starts and you're like, whoa, this is not what I manifested.
No, I
And then
didn't
like,
order this off the menu. Send it back.
exactly. First month, second month, third month, and you're like, oh my God, this is just a continuous of
Mm,
over the last year. And then we have the second part, which is all about the preparation of the Lion's Gate, right? And,
yeah.
and and the summer solstice where everything just gets shaken up completely, and we just need to leave everything over and over again that we thought we knew somehow. So, and then we come into the third part, which is usually a lot of integration and somehow we can take the juiciness out of the work we've done because this is also where we kind of we completing but we also anchoring in and integrating all the codes and information that has been coming through during the year and it's a very it really feels like we are like well everyone has like taken off a lot which is not ours and we're so ready to take a leap now and we're just like okay where are you guys that are as committed as us because I just want to have you around me no one else and let's go to work.
I thoroughly agree. It's the version of ourselves that is being presented, the representation and the focal point of the soul energy has been stripped down and purified. Almost kind of what we're approaching almost what could be described as a base metal version or a very, very highly kind of we've done so much of the purification, of the karmic clearing, the kind of going into your Akash with a high powered jet wash and cleaning all the bits and pieces out of the corners that you thought you'd already cleaned out. And this is a almost like a rinse and repeat process. And the most and it's almost like a year of, I mean, if you're a wedding disco or something like that, and the DJ's playing banger after banger, it's been a little bit like that over the course of 2023, where every single month has produced something incredibly, it might have presented it to itself to us as volatile or difficult to manage, but there has been an incredible amount of movement and progress. And now we're, like you say, the last third of the year, we've got a version of ourselves that is now being presented to the field that has lost or removed or discarded or alchemized a huge amount of the restrictions that we were born with into the third dimension. Really interesting thing that came off in the workshop that I ran with Alice Heath on the 5th of September. And if you've been following my updates, people, you know, those of you that are tuning in, you'll have heard me talking about the Atlantean collar. And the Atlantean collar has been in place since the fall of Atlantis. It was placed around the throat chakras of powerful Atlanteans, so they could not go out into the 3D world and use their voices for the powers of alchemy to the degree that they had held in the fifth dimension. And that has led to an incredible amount of restriction within the throat, persecution for the words that we speak, and basically taken the magic out of our voices. Well, the magic has been restored. So the words that you speak and all of the surrounding vibrations that are associated with the power of the spoken word have been and are being restored to a fifth dimensional frequency. That's a game changer. Okay, that's an absolute game changer on a personal and a collective healing level. It's to have that spiritual authenticity and authority and love to be projected into the physical world with the spoken word is one of the kind of like the peak moments of this process so far for me anyway.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you talk about it because my guides were this morning saying that on the 6-month advanced ascension journey, the throat will be activated on a completely new level, and light language will be activated, the codes for everyone.
Yay.
And I usually don't hear that. And also for those that already speak light language, a much more deeper understanding of how to use light language. And again, it has to do with the voice, right? Because expression and the intelligence that wants to come through our throat, the ancient wisdom, it now we have started finally to understand that the template that tried to install about that you needed to have done all these educations and courses to actually do certain work here. We know that that is not correct anymore. We know that we have done so many courses and educations through eons of lifetimes that now just needs to be activated. And this is the year 7, right? The year of spirituality. We all knew that. We talked about it when we begin this year. And of course, for us, it was like, yeah, but we're already spiritual. We're all already on the spiritual path. But everything has been about, I feel for me, if I would take one thing that has been activated within me this year, is my commitment to the mission is completely on another level. And for those that knows me would say, but you were super committed in January. Yes, but
Uber
within
super
myself,
committed.
yeah, within me, my commitment is so much higher. And this is the request right now. We want, and I want to be an energetic master every single moment of my life. Like, I understand that this is a very rare incarnation, a very unique, special incarnation we have chosen to come to. And I want in every given moment to be an energetic master. And to be that, we need to unlock very sacred ancient codes that has been hidden within us for eons of lifetimes that are not unlocked yet until we come together with the right people at the same moment with that, like a really strong commitment. And that's why we've been asked to do the advanced ascension journey that starts next week, because it's really, the unity consciousness beyond the separation. We will not feel safe to unleash these codes and scripts until we are together. That's it.
There's something very interesting that I've picked up within the energy of what you're speaking about there, is the fact that the entire year, if you can have a theme for a year, it's unity consciousness. Okay, everything that we're doing, the activation of the higher heart as we move through Lionsgate. And you're absolutely right. I mean, we hold an incredible codex within each and every one of us. Each of those those codings, those personal soul codings, were agreed to by us before we incarnated down here, and the circumstances within their activation are very specific. First gateway that you have to walk through is the frequency gateway. It's very much like walking into the halls of Amantai. You have to place your hands upon the door, and the frequency, you are scanned for your frequency, mostly the purity of your heart center, and therefore the gate is unlocked according to the specifics of the vibration. Well, this is very much like what we're doing collectively at the moment. Individually, we have capacity to do incredible work, but when we gather as a group, that rises exponentially, and the kind of the unity codings that are being released at the moment are quite staggering.
Mm. Yeah, and something also that I'm noticing, that you, me, and many of us are noticing the synchronicity. It's also like when you keep raising your vibration and you can access more and more levels of consciousness, which is beyond the 3D programming and the old templates. It's to understand the incredible synchronicity that we've been taken through. I mean, you talked about it, we've been called to go in our teenagers to different places and party, but we were actually doing strong portal work and taking back codes and stuff like that. And maybe some parties were more intense, right? Because we were actually doing energetic work and partying. And for us, like, my guides were really explaining this morning to me how me and Tim, we got together 3 years ago and met each other and remembered each other immediately from
Mm,
Atlantis, and we were like really understood that we were going to be a part of the new Earth template and anchor that in. So the first work we did together was on the 7-7 portal a little bit more than 2 years ago, anchoring the template of the new Earth. And we didn't fully understand. We just followed guidance. It was powerful.
yeah.
And then next work was anchoring in divine union.
Mm,
And then the work has just been continuing. And when we were asked to do the first ascension journey last year, it was also all about coming together in unity consciousness. We were a little bit 1 year ahead. So we
mm,
were 600 people being asked from January 2022 to do this work and anchor these energies in as a preparation for 2023.
mm,
And then there was like nothing. And people asked us, when are you doing, the 6 month advanced ascension journey again? And we were like, no, we're being called. And we were kind of like doing different work, uh, connecting with each other. And then suddenly, boom, the information come. Okay, it's time now. And now we understand why. Like after the Lion's Gate, the 8-8, you did the 9-9 work as I did, and now it's time. It's really time to do advancement, and it doesn't matter where you are. Advance is about your commitment. And now, as this has been asked by us to come together again, me and team, to do this work, we also been asked, without our really interference, to meet in different locations and do a lot of work. So we were in Glastonbury and we did huge work collecting codes, opening up codes between each other. We're going to Denmark. We're doing a work there. We're doing the Lemurian scarves, and we're going to Portugal with with Diana. So it's also we are retrieving a lot of ancient wisdom that we have encoded within us to release in this exact moment. And we were asked to kind of meet physically during this months also to release what we have not felt safe to release. And
mm,
that's why this is really a lot of ancient information from the mystery schools of Atlantis and Egypt And you being called to join are the priestess and priestesses from this incarnation. So maybe you feel like, who am I? I'm just, this lady. Like I can feel sometimes. I'm just Mia living in a little place outside Stockholm, 48 years. Who am I? But we are starting to remember who we are and that calling and now to come together. So everything, it's not about the 6 month ascension journey only, but all that we've been called to answer and calling for is much bigger than we can understand.
It is, and I like how you mentioned that as well, Mia, because that's one thing that I've observed and worked with people before over the years is something that I call little me syndrome. I mean, there's the expansiveness of who we are, and many of you listening this morning will be becoming aware of who you truly are. But that version of you is also very much embodied in earth, in an earth body here and now. And like Mia said, sometimes I'm out in the woods feeling just like a geezer hiding in the woodland, maybe swatting at the odd ferret if it tries to land on me. And you do ask on days where the kind of the mind takes over, what qualifies me to do this? Am I worthy of carrying the responsibility or bringing through the information that's coming through? And the simple and solid answer to that is yes, yes, you are. Okay. And over the years, I mean, countless centuries that we've been reincarnating over and over again since the fall of Atlantis, we've been taught, or rather programmed, to be a diminished version of ourselves. And if you stand in your power, in your heart center, the mighty I am presence in love, that's not arrogance. That's standing in your power with sovereignty, with love, with spiritual authority. And that's the energy movement and the anchoring that's going to change this planet so very rapidly. And that's another thing that I think we're going to be witnessing at the moment, and maybe not quite believing, is the power of the change that we are initiating together collectively. You hear of these things altering and shifting in the form and the reality of the 3D matrix and thinking, well, maybe that's a little bit too good to be true. But if you think about what we're doing together, what you think about what we are anchoring collectively, what we've dedicated ourselves to, this is what we've ordered. This is what we've
Mm,
created together. And so collectively, there is a vast amount of strength in us coming together. And,
mm,
no
yeah.
more little me syndrome. I think that's one of the most powerful things that we're going to be taking into the last part of the year.
Yeah, and as you also talked about in your live the other day, is that we are also taking our responsibility, on the same level we ask you to take your responsibility. So
Mm.
if you feel an inner calling, please don't let your mind stop you.
Mhm.
Like really go with your heart, because me and team, we have nothing prepared and we will not use old stuff. That's our commitment, because we also feel that this is something that our guides and teams really want us. And I have Anubis standing behind you, and he's fully merged in me. He's very like this today. So I feel like maybe it's not so much laughing on this live today, but he's like very firm, like, this needs to happen, it needs to go, and you need to explain, what it is
Yeah,
about. But
got a serious head on.
we've been talking about this before, me and Tim, but team does webinars, I do webinars. Sometimes we do them together and they're really powerful. And we understand more and more that we need to integrate it. But I think what was so beautiful last time was that we did a webinar together. We anchored in an energy, we worked with it together. But then we integrated it together for 1 month, and we had a Q&A where you all could let in all your amazing questions after around 2 weeks integration of the webinar. And you brought us in the questions which we answer in a Q&A around 2 weeks after the webinar. So you get even deeper integration. And then after a while, we take next webinar, and together in the group field, we integrate it. So this is what we try to explain, that this is not the regular work. It's really like a beautiful journey of, and I think if we would set why are we doing this is to really understand energy on a much deeper level. And many listening here would say, like, I know energy, I'm an energy therapist. But
Mm.
there's so much more to understand about upgrades. How do they work? How can we work with them on all levels? Understand integration, but also understanding upgrades. Like, literally, to be honest, hand on my heart, I don't integrate enough yet. My teams keep telling me, slow down, cancel, more integration all the time. And I know you have that too, Tim. It's like, let's come together and let's really honor that,
Mm.
because the old human self just want to run, but we are missing huge parts. So what we have got as information is that as we unlock each key together, we will also receive more information that has not been out there in the field. So we are also very excited, actually, extra excited.
Yeah, very much so. And I like what you said earlier on as well, Mia, about you had like almost like a Freudian slip. You called it the 6 months adventure.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is at the end of the day. We're all on this amazing adventure together. And the for me, and I know I've mentioned this before, one of the most I'm an observer. I like observing and I like analyzing. I like making conclusions from my observations. To have had the privilege of witnessing the container of growth over 6 months is something that you can't replace that experience.
Yes.
It's something that's very much assisted me to gain a understanding and a benchmark of what is really going on with us
Mm.
on a kind of like a physical, mental, and emotional, spiritual level around the world as we experience this incredible 20-year ascension jump from 3D to 5D, something that took the beings that inhabit the Sirius, the high educational, high frequency seventh dimensional climes of Sirius. They took 300 Earth years to go through what we're going through in 20. Okay, so
Mm.
just give you a little bit of perspective, and no doubt they found it extremely challenging within their own transition, but we are doing it in 20 years and we're over halfway through now, and we're making incredible progress. And we're only doing that because we are now collectively grouping our energies together and working as a team, which is
Mm.
something which I love seeing.
And this time we know also that we're meeting up in Glastonbury the last
In
weekend of
physical.
May in the physical,
Yeah.
which also feels incredible because again, then we can truly anchor it into the physical, into this
Mm.
incarnation and this vessel and this personality we have chosen.
Yeah.
So yeah, oh my God, Anubis is so like he's absolutely gonna be a gatekeeper of this work. He's like all
Hmm.
over the place today here. Like,
Excellent. Oh, glad, glad,
yeah.
glad he's on site.
So, beloveds, again, we also don't have too much information on the website around it because we have strict, each month we know it's going to be about really much more deeper grounding, clearing, activation, upgrade, and integration. But that's it. So, and don't allow your mind to interrupt you. And you do it in your own pace again. So, you don't need to be there on the live events because many have asked us the live webinars. Everything is being recorded. You will get your password into the material so you easily can access it. And also to say something that the last group actually did, that they revisit the material once the 6 month was done. They felt that their vibration was so much higher. So many of them got together and some of them by themselves redid the 6 month journey again, the material. So it's
Nice.
really like a library to continue working on. So 7 days to go. So I really feel the group field as getting stronger and more determined,
Beautiful.
and so much remembrance is coming back.
Excellent. I'm so looking forward to it. Really am.
Me too. So we hope you feel really you want to join, and otherwise we just wish you all an amazing last piece of 2023.
Yeah. Let's see what the
And
universe has got in store for us all this time.
Exactly. Now it's the build up for the winter solstice or summer solstice in the other hemisphere. But
There's going to be
we,
a point at somewhere a little bit further down the timeline, um,
yes.
where it's all just one big event, the whole year.
Yeah, exactly. And we have 22nd of October where, I mean, we have an opportunity to merge with our monads. So just think of that, what that will open up in the middle of all this work that we're
I think
doing.
there's,
So
I
maybe
think there's going to
everything
be,
will change when we're like coming back to the course to this 6 month journey after the 22nd of October and we just meet there in our, in our monad. Of course, that will be different. So it's
think of the
actually really
download capacity. I think there's going to be a few sore Antakarana bridges on the 23rd, isn't there?
exactly. It will. It will.
Yeah.
So thank you, Tim. Thank you, everyone,
Thank you,
being here
Mia.
with
Pleasure as
us.
always.
And we look forward for next Wednesday, our first activation starts. So
Yay.
finally, much love to everyone.
See you all
Blessings.
soon.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.